Hello, everybody. Dale Dickerson, Coach Jason Russell for our coaches show this morning. Coach Yogi Berra said it ain't over till it's over.
That's right.
That's what happened this week. It came down to the very last play, the last tackle before this game was over with.
Absolutely, it did. We had a great motivational message and FCA devotional by Brother Dean Stewart came in from Belhaven, talked to us, and the subject of that message was comeback story, the greatest comeback. Talking about that football game with the Bills, and he related that to a biblical story as well. And I felt like our kids had that in their mind, and they never gave up. I mean, even when things got just really, really tough to see a way out at the end, we just kept fighting, we kept clawing, and we got the ball in one of our best players' hands, and he made a fantastic play right there at the end.
Yep, at 4 minutes left to go in the game, we're up by 10, and we're in control. Fumble, return for a touchdown, onside kick, they get it, score, go ahead with about 2 minutes or less in the game, and we're thinking we're in trouble. And like you said, a big play, and we're back ahead. And dang, if they didn't almost come back and got down to about the 5-yard line, 4-yard line.
Well, the story of the game is record-setting offensive production, but we coupled that with close to record-setting turnovers, and that's why we were in the position that we were. We had 601 yards total of offense, which is unbelievable. It's the fifth most ever in school history. Raheem threw for 411 yards, which is the most ever in school history. There is an old withstanding record of 427 yards, but it was completed by multiple guys. So the previous record was 354 yards, held since 2015, and so Raheem was able to beat that with his 411 yards. Also completed 86% of his passes, which is unbelievable, 2 touchdowns. Yep. Big-time night by that kid. Britton Traylor had 209 yards receiving, which is the third most receiving yards ever in team history. The most was 214, so he was only 5 yards away from that. And so we had big-time performances all across the board. Still had 190 yards rushing. Kylan still continues to shine at the running back position. Lots of production offensively, but we cannot put the ball on the ground 4 times on offense, and then we gave up the onside kick, which makes the 5th turnover.
Yep. When you say you shoot yourself in the foot, I'm not sure we had many toes left after that game.
No, we didn't. We talked about the turnovers, and then talk about the penalties. We had 13 penalties for 135 yards. All the negative things that we did that were detrimental to ourselves, we've got to cut those things out as we go throughout the season if we want to be the team we can be. Yeah. We've got to cut out the mistakes, the things that we're doing to hurt ourselves.
Yeah, we've had some great numbers come out of just the first 3 games. First game we set a school record for rushing as a team, and then we had records set again this week. So we've got some offensive firepower.
We do, and it all comes down. We've got great players on the field. Our offensive line's doing a great job. Week 1, they mowed down guys for the rushing record for the school. And then this week they pass protected phenomenally because that was what was asked of them. They had a 7-man box. They had a heavy box. So we threw the ball more this week because that's what they were giving us. And those guys up front did a fantastic job of protecting Raheem so that he could stand in the pocket and make those throws. Without those guys, none of this happens. So big shout out goes to the offensive line because when you have offensive production like that, you can't have it without the big boys up front.
That's right. All right, we got quite a few highlights, so let's go on into our highlights here and see. Like I said, this was an extremely exciting ball game.
Yeah, first play right here that we've got for the highlight is Kylan on our flare pass. Again, Kylan has so much speed and elusiveness. If you can get him in space one-on-one with defenders, it's really scary for the defense. And that's all we're doing here is just tossing the ball out here to him on a little flare pass and getting him out there one-on-one. We've got blockers, and he makes a big-time play, gets run down there, I think at the 1-yard line.
Get down to 1 and goes in for a touchdown after that. Well, he's first of his 3, and that flare pass will come back later on. We'll see it again.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, here's our next one.
All right, yeah, so great pocket here. You can see the time that Raheem has to throw this ball. A little bit of breakdown on the route. Not, I'm not really crazy about the routes, but Raheem gets one of our best players an opportunity to make a play on the ball. Britton makes a great play on the ball, comes back, makes the catch. But then again, what we talked about before, puts the ball on the ground. And so now a promising drive ends with the ball rolling on the ground, them recovering it, and it stops that progress that we
had. Should have been sitting at first and goal from the 5, and
there you go.
they
There's
end up
another
with the
score.
ball on the 20.
And we just let them stay in the game by doing things like that.
Yes.
We can't do that.
Yes. All right, here's our next one. This is Britton Trailer on another catch.
Yeah, we got the fade ball right here. We've had him matched up one-on-one. Safety was over. When we did flex trips, the trips formation, that safety cheats over a little bit towards those trips, so it opened up things for Britton to be over there one-on-one. We felt like we had a matchup that we could win against him in the corner. He actually got held a little bit and was able to fight that hold off, kind of broke the guy's grip on him, and was able to separate, grab the ball, score the touchdown, and big-time play.
Yeah, it was a great catch because he just stretched out at the very end and got his fingertips on the ball, and just a great catch.
Yep.
This is a short run by Kylan here for his second touchdown of the game.
Yeah. So Kylan, again, like you said, 3 touchdowns. Continues to excel. I think he had, what did he have rushing? Kylan had 165 yards on 23 carries and 3 touchdowns. We're talking a lot about the passing offense. That's pretty impressive by itself right there.
Yep.
So it's a big night.
All right, our next one. This is another one of the turnovers.
Yeah, we get a little pass out here to Bobo on a little bootleg pass. It's one of our favorite, just ways to just high percentage throws, getting the ball out in playmakers' hands, and we've got a big play, but we can't put the ball on the ground. It's just.
I did notice that you moved Bobo into the slot a lot, and instead of the H back, and you had Gadwell came in.
Eric Gadwell.
Yeah,
really proud of Eric Gadwell. He's come in, and Jay Wells was out for this game with a foot issue, and so we moved Bobo to the slot, and we brought Gadwell over. He was one of our backup linebackers, and we were looking for a guy that offered a little bit more punch in the run game at the H back spot. And immediately he came in and just has looked phenomenal at that position.
He did. He looked really good.
Physical,
first game. Yeah.
Attacking, doing everything we're asking him to do at that H-back position. So we're excited to have him. I think it's really going to help our run game throughout the season. And then when you put a guy like Bobo out there at receiver, now we're strong at 2 positions right there. And it's just I thought it worked out really well.
It did look really good. All right, here's our next one. This is one of the big runs here by Kylan Rhodes.
Yeah, we got a little freeze here. I thought we got him on the freeze, but they didn't call the offsides, so we come back and we just run a little zone read right here, and it's kind of what our signature play, and Kylan just makes a guy miss right there in the hole, and you can just see the speed. He's the fastest guy on the field. This guy right here, proud of him for taking such a good angle, because there's not many people that catch Kylan on that, but Kylan is just absolutely rolling through there, and he was cramping as the game went, because like I said, he had 23 carries for 165 yards. He also had, receiving wise, he had 4 receptions for 65 yards, so he had well over 200 yards of offense and 230 yards of offense. So he's touched the ball a good bit of times at that point.
All right, here's where the situation completely turns.
Yeah, speaking of the touches, Kylan has had so many, has run the ball so much. I'm trying to sub out. Jerry's unavailable at this time, so right now our third running back is Brandon Perry, and so I plug him in there, just trying to get a yard. I've literally had my arm on Kyle and telling him, hey, you're in next play. We'll go get the first down. If he doesn't get it right here and we get a low snap, we don't handle the low snap well, then we try to hand it off and to a young kid, and it just did not turn out well. And the worst thing that could happen at the moment, because we were running the clock out and we were moving the ball down the field, we were having no problem moving the ball. We were going to go run the clock out, maybe score. If not, just take a knee down at the end. But we fumble the ball. They get a fumble recovery touchdown. The absolute worst thing that can happen. Now they're only down by 3 points at this point, and so here comes the onside kick.
Yep. After they get the onside kick, they score pretty quick.
Yep, they scored pretty quick, and then, here's a little pass across the middle. We're banged up at this point. We've lost several guys in the secondary, and we're playing a guy there that in Britton Traylor that just hasn't played on defense at all. He hasn't even practiced it, but we were literally out of bodies to put over there, guys that have had any experience. So he's a great player. We just try to put a great player in there he was got a little out of position.
Yeah, we were
touchdown.
up at 10 with 4 minutes left to go in the ball game. We have a fumble. They run it back. They get the onside kick and score and go ahead, and there's like 2 minutes left to go in the game.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just an incredible turn of events. We're up 10 points, less than 4 minutes. We're on 4-minute drill. We're trying to milk the clock down, just run plays, just get out of the game. Like we're up by 10. You feel pretty comfortable at that point. You got the ball. You're up by 10. You're moving it first down after first down.
Yep.
You should be able to close that game out, but Friday night wasn't like that. I mean, it's just everything that could go wrong.
Well, that's where
wrong.
we were looking at the adversity, and this is where we came back. And we're looking at a 3rd and 26 after a bad snap. So this is that little flare pass back out to Kylan again.
Yeah, 3rd and 26. We're down by 4. I mean, everything's on the line. We just put the ball in one of our best players' hands, just out in space. Let Kylan make a play, get us in 4th down and manageable. That's all I'm thinking at this point. And then we get it to 4th and 10 basically, and at this point it's, hey, what do we call? Had a lot of options that we looked at, but my thing was I wanted to put the ball in one of our best players' hands. If a team's going to beat us, they're going to have to beat us through our best players, and so we got Raheem Vance right here to Britton Traylor.
This is 4th and 10 with about a minute and 20 seconds, something like that, 15 seconds left to go in the game. So we're down to our last play.
Yep, this is it right here. If we don't get this first down, game is over. They take a knee, they end the game. We catch the little comeback route right here. Britton breaks a tackle, turns on the Jets, and hits the sideline for the touchdown.
70 yards to go ahead. And everybody's thinking, well, we've come back and won the ball game, but
there's still a minute left to go in the game.
yeah, there's a minute and 9 seconds left to go after that touchdown, and they take the kickoff and literally get down to
the 45.
They're down around the 11 or 12 yard line with 5 seconds left to go, and their quarterback tries to run for it, and we tackle him around the 3 or 4 yard line as time runs out. Of course, the clock didn't run, and it was a huge confusion because it was only 5 seconds left, and when they tackled him, it was still 5 seconds left. So I think they figured out that 5 seconds was gone.
And they didn't have a timeout, so they would have had to run another. You can't run around that long. That's 5 seconds of running around, first of all, and then there's no way that you can spot the ball, run the next play with that amount of time. It's literally impossible, and that's what I kept telling them, because they were considering spotting the ball and giving them one last play, and I'm like, guys, there's no way. There is zero way that you can run around that long for 5 seconds and then get tackled and then spot the ball and then run the next play, because it wasn't a first down. I mean, there's just no way to run that next play. But finally they figured that out and made the right decision, and the game was over, and I felt like that I could finally relax and at that point.
Well, it was an extremely exciting game to watch and to call, and like you said, the effort never stopped until the very last play.
Yeah. There's stuff to fix. There is no doubt there's stuff to fix. I mean, we see all the mistakes, the errors, the things that we did that put us in the position where we were. But the effort is hard to coach that, and our kids played with it. They played with an excitement and never gave up, and I'm proud of them for that.
All right. This week we go to Lewisburg, and Lewisburg demolished Center Hill last week, and they beat us last year for the first time ever. So we've got to go to their place this week and play. They've got a pretty good quarterback coming back.
Well, it's the best Lewisburg team they've ever had, in my personal opinion. Their quarterback makes it all go. He's deadly accurate. He stands in the pocket. He'll take hits. He'll throw the ball with guys hanging on him. We've got to make sure that we put pressure on him. We've got to make sure that we do a good job in pass coverage of making him throw through very narrow windows. They're a tough football team. They're well coached. They're play with great effort. All the things that good football teams do, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. So we're going to have to play a good game on Friday night. It's definitely going to be a test. It's one of the best teams we played all year for sure.
All right. Well, the game's at Friday night at Lewisburg at 7 o'clock. If you cannot make it, we'll have it on obtvlive.com. And we appreciate everybody tuning in this morning and watching us this morning. So thank y'all. We'll see you next week.